The video you're about to see is not finished and never will be finished because it was supposed to be finished a long time ago and I just now decided to give up. So views may be dated and there's no end screen, but I hope you enjoy what I had anyway. If there's one thing I hate, especially in gaming, it's when you see concepts and trailers that set your expectations really freaking high. And you feel immense satisfaction from the start. Like, you feel like all the hype was worth it and you feel satisfied with your purchase. But then as the hype settles down, you start to get comfy with the game and how it works and its little idiosyncrasies. Or maybe some developers will like surprise you out of nowhere with some stupid update. And then all of a sudden you're staring at the bits and bytes of utter disappointments. Time and time again, I faced this exact same scenario, and every time it's long term. Like, by the time I reach the point of enlightenment of how stupid it is, I'm already in too deep to get the frick out. Kind of like when you're already burning in hell and that's when they tell you what the one true religion is that you should have been following all your life. But I digress. Here are some recent examples of letdowns in gaming. I know there are plenty of apps that exist for the purpose of tracking your sleep, but the one that caught my attention before it came out was Pokemon Sleep. And yes, Pokemon Sleep counts as a game. No alpha male gamers allowed in my comments, please. Sleep trackers in and of themselves are a dime a dozen, but I figured Pokemon Sleep would get me interested in learning my sleep habits, much like Pokemon Go was able to get me to go outside and explore my community. Or, heck, even before that, Pokemon Soul Silver with a little Pokewalker actually convinced me to, do physical activity. I used the app for a few months, and apart from the initial uncomfortableness of sleeping with a phone beside my pillow, it seemed to work quite well. I've learned about different sleep types and habits, and I got some Pokemon to gather berries for the little chubby buddy in the center. I even got to listen to the noises it picked up in my sleep. And no, I am not playing the sounds for you, little nosy. Apparently I move around a lot in my sleep, that'll tell you that much. But there were some minor issues that the app had. Things like, just small things, like you need to have your phone in do not disturb mode while you sleep, or else if your phone makes a notification noise, that'll make it think it's noise you're making in your sleep. Speaking of sleep, if you're playing some white noise in the background, or maybe a YouTube video that you're comfortable with relaxing to, then there's a good chance that the thing's gonna think you're not sleeping, and it'll be deducted from your score. Sometimes the entire app will crash and restart if I switch out of it briefly to do something like turn off my smart lights or, God forbid, check my messages. It is recommended you don't nap because if you don't sleep for at least 90 minutes, it doesn't count. One thing that irked me for a time was I would probably just feel around adjusting my position, touch my phone, and accidentally hit end sleep session, which makes it stop tracking, and I have to go through the screen of going through the sleep reports before I can track another sleep session to continue, because if I try to record a second sleep session after hitting review later, it won't do it until I review the first sleep session. And for the sake of time, I'm going to skip a couple of issues I have with the app that don't involve sleeping. I'm just going to cut to the part that absolutely killed it for me. It actually ruined my sleep schedule. See, Pokemon Sleep rolls over for a new day at 4 a.m., which makes sense because night owls, they go to bed late. I'm a night owl because YouTube demands it. But for the rare circumstances where I need to get up in the morning for something urgent, I am screwed. Like, on a day where I don't really have to do anything that important, I'll go to bed at 6:30 a.m. because that's when I can usually expect some peace and quiet in the house after Dad leaves for work early in the morning. But what happens on a day where I have to get up at 8 in the morning? Well, on the night before, I would usually go to bed at midnight because that means I get the 8 hours of sleep and I can get up early in the morning. That makes sense, right? Well, here's the thing. If I do that with Pokemon Sleep, then the game warns me like it counts as a second sleep session, meaning I don't get the bonus biscuits, and I can only track as much sleep as necessary to bring that day's total up to 8 hours. For example, if I lost 6 hours of sleep in a day and I try to go to sleep at midnight, it'll only let me count 2 hours of sleep toward my score. So what happens? I end up staying up all night till 4 in the morning, going to bed and then I only get like 4 hours of sleep because I have to get up at 8, and 4 hours is already a bad score, but it's better than 2 hours for sticking to the same day. Hey, just because I'm making simple exceptions to the lifestyle of being a night owl, I end up being incentivized to reduce my real life sleep benefits for the favor of in-game sleep benefits. At first I thought I was crazy. I thought it was just some stupid thing that only I suffer and I'm making crap up. Until I looked around on Reddit and I found out that people agree with me, that despite the app encouraging you to find your own style and sleep however you want within healthy limits, the game does punish you for being a freaking night owl. I would have uninstalled a long time ago if I wasn't drawn to the big, fluffy, pillowy softness that is Snorlax's big round belly.
Before we continue to the next segment, I would like to point out that I have a guest writer, who you will hear from later in the episode. And this guest writer had Grammarly installed, and this is a screenshot of its pathetic attempt to correct my grammar. I mean seriously, in what insane messed up universe is Crash Bandicoot an acceptable replacement for the word, like? Technology is weird. Anyway, now for the Crash Team Rumble portion of the video.
Now this isn't the first time I've compared a game to Fortnite. That honor goes to Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Account-based cross-multiplayer, a dual pass, seasons, crafting? I don't need to beat around the bush anymore. My first impressions rating for this game is a Fortnite out of 10. I don't need to explain that Wildcard and I are the same person, right? Anyway, after playing a bit of Crash Team Rumble, I got to thinking that it would be a bit closer to Fortnite as the seasons progressed. 2 seasons later, and I take a step back and I realize that this is actually worse than Fortnite. But I'm getting ahead of myself. My first experience with this game is that there were rumors circulating around the Crash Bandicoot fan club that there would be a new game coming out with online multiplayer. And like most other fans, I was thinking Crash Bash remake. That would be awesome. For me anyway. I know a lot of people don't like Crash Bash, but whatever. Then the trailer dropped and it revealed it was a battle royale. And the concept was pretty cool, where you just pick your own character, collect Wumpa fruit, drop them in the team bank, and try to reach the target without getting blocked or killed. There's lots of cool power-ups, and the levels are inspired by the game, and it's really cool. And I have no problem with Battle Royales. I like Tetris 99, I like Pac-Man 99, I like Mario 35. So I know Battle Royale games can be done good. When the second season started, that's when the rose-tinted goggles of Deluxe Edition began to fade, and I started to see the game for what it really is. See, like Fortnite, they like to push out new content in seasons, and just like Fortnite also, they push out new cosmetics in the Battle Pass. And correct me if I'm wrong because my knowledge of Fortnite's Battle Pass is limited, but I think Crash Team Rumble copied the mechanic where if you want the items from the Battle Pass, you either gotta play a lot and rank up to reach that level, or you give them money to skip the levels. And another mechanic that I don't know if they copied is the Premium Pass, where some of the items on the level of the Battle Pass are only available if you buy the Premium Pass, then reach that level either by buying it or playing to it. Scummy business practices, at least in my opinion, but in Fortnite I would have been okay with it because, well, it's a free game. How else are they going to get their money? Plus it's ultimately up to you and your friggin' FOMO stuff. So why am I hating on Crash Team Rumble for pretty much doing the same thing? Why is it worse than Fortnite? Number one, I really don't think it's respectful to make a Fortnite clone out of Crash Bandicoot. And two, I paid money for this! The game costs $30 for the privilege of playing in the first damn place, which means Activision has no moral excuse to nickel and dime us. And I actually paid $40 because I wanted the physical copy. And Fortnite doesn't have physical copies. You can buy physical copies, but they're just empty boxes with friggin' download codes. And this was the deluxe edition, don't forget, which means I got proto skins and my first 2 seasons of Battle Pass comped. Which means for my extra $10, I was blinded to 2 seasons worth of scummy tactics for microtransactioning the players. This box and the disc inside it now serve as a permanent reminder that no matter how intellectual I may seem, there is no escape for me from the modern gaming tropes of hyper-competitiveness, Battle Royale live services, and corporate greed. In that Master Duel video, I gave the game a 4 out of 10. So, I'm gonna amp it up and say my rating for Crash Team Rumble is a fuck you out of 10.
Sorry to interrupt again, but Grammarly has some explaining to do. What the hell is a jump fruit? And why do you feel the need to correct me when I say Wumpa fruit? It's an in-game item. Leave me alone.
And you know what? While I'm on the subject of live service games, I'm going to list off some games that I enjoyed that either can no longer be played or continue through fan projects in some capacity. But the point is they can no longer be played officially. That's the greatest disappointment of these games, is that they can no longer be played officially, and we've been robbed of some great experiences, and maybe some money depending on who the developer was. The 5 games that come to mind for me at this moment are Guitar Hero Live, specifically the Guitar Hero TV mode where you play the 6-button guitar to popular songs and music videos to a streaming service. This service was actually restored as Guitar Hero TV Reloaded by a fan project. Look it up. Miitomo, a mobile app where you could play around with your Miis and make cool social media posts, and they talk like they do in Tomodachi Life. This service has been restored by using the Keiru patcher to make Keiru Tomo. K-A-E-R-U, look it up. Super Mario Bros. 35, a free Nintendo Switch game that Nintendo let us do for Super Mario Bros. 35th anniversary. They took it away from us a year later, and it's bullshit. But I do have some awareness of the fact that in the Switch homebrew community, there is a dedicated group of fans that run private servers of this game that are still functioning today. And the last 2 mobile games that I don't think have revivals are Crash on the Run and Yu-Gi-Oh! Cross Duel. That last one, Yu-Gi-Oh! Cross Duel, hits me hardest. If you're not aware of my thoughts on it, see the video where I reviewed that. But to see it shut down within a year of that video going up, that hurt me. That hurt me bad. And it felt like betrayal, utter betrayal from Konami. So I decided from that then and there, if Konami's going to release a new game, I'm not reviewing it. I refuse. I'm not going to get my heart broken like this again, because I am not going to open myself up to another round of betrayal. Or as Spoonie would say, betrayal! Anyway, I need to calm down before I wrap the video up. I just hope that my more recent gaming purchase won't be as big of a disappointment.